Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today we are going to play around with a very fun and simple card design. We're going to create some pull-out cards, and I have two different ways you can use this design in your card making. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have two different card ideas I want to share with you, which feature a very fun and simple pull-out design. Now you can use this design with any pattern paper. I'm going to focus on some Valentine themed cards, but it'll work with any pattern paper you have on hand. Now the cards in this video feature the Hearts of Elegance Bundle from Stampin Up. So this particular bundle has a stamp set and a coordinating die set. So I will be using this bundle just to add some different elements and decorations to my cards. Okay, so this is the card that I'm actually going to walk you through. We're going to do a little landscape style card. And the base of the card is actually created with some pattern paper. And then this little pull-out insert is the cardstock piece for this particular card. So let me show you how to make this. So you're going to start with a 6 by 12 inch piece of pattern paper. And we're going to start by scoring the pattern paper. We're going to put the 12-inch side at the top. And we're going to start by scoring it at 4. And then we're going to score it again at 8. So you'll have two score lines, 4 and 8 inches. And then you're going to take your paper and you're going to turn it and put that 6-inch side at the top. And you're going to score across the bottom at a 1/2 inch. All right, so now that we have our score lines, I'm just going to crease the score lines a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing here. So there's the two score lines at 4 and 8. And then our 1/2 inch score line is across the bottom. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut diagonally. So we're going to cut from these two score lines, so the 4-inch and the 8-inch. We're going to cut from that score line down to the 1/2 inch score line that's on the bottom. So we'll line up that top score line and this bottom one, and then we're just going to make a diagonal cut. So we can set this aside. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So let's fold this a little bit. We're going to cut from that little 1/2 inch score line up to this score line. And we're going to cut that diagonally. Okay, so this is what your piece should look like. You should have two diagonal cuts on each side, and you'll have the center piece. And so basically what we're going to do is we're just going to fold on all these score lines. So let's fold these pieces up on the bottom. So this is our little 1/2 inch section on the bottom. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim off these little extra pieces. So we'll just cut on diagonal here and just trim that off. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And the center piece here, we're not going to add any glue underneath there, but we are going to add some glue on this side. So we're going to add some glue here and just fold up this little 1/2 inch section. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're just going to put some glue under this little section here and just let that set up. And then this little section here is we're just going to leave open so that we can slide our card down underneath there. So now we're just going to fold these pieces over. It doesn't matter which way you fold them. You can fold it left to right or right to left. They're basically just going to be folding on top of each other. So let's just smooth these down a little bit. And we are going to add some glue just on that little 1/2 inch section down on the bottom. So we'll fold that one over, and then we'll add a little bit of glue here, and we'll fold this one over on top. And now we have just a cute little pocket area that we can use to create our pull-out section. So you can decorate this in either portrait style or landscape style. So I'm going to decorate this one in landscape style. So the first thing I'm going to do to decorate it is I'm going to actually use these leftover triangular pieces, and I'm actually going to cut out a little heart shape, and I want it to be the same direction as my paper. So since we're doing this in landscape style, I want the lines in my paper to be running up and down. If I were to do this in portrait style, then I would want my lines to be running side to side. So just kind of pay attention to the pattern on your paper. But I'm going to go ahead and run this through my embossing machine to cut out these two heart shapes. All right, so I cut out these hearts with the embossing machine, and so I cut them back to back so I have the same design on each side. And we're going to use this as our pull-out tab, so I'm just going to set that aside for the moment. So let's put together the pull-out section for the inside of the card. So you're basically going to need two pieces of paper. So I have a piece of Poppy Parade, which is 3 7/8 by 5 inches. And then I have a piece of white cardstock, which is 3 5/8 by 4 3/4 inches. And so these two pieces are going to get adhered together. But what I want to do is I want to use these little heart shapes to create kind of a pull-out tab for this side of my card. So I'm going to start by adhering this little bit of heart, so half of this heart, I'm going to adhere to the right side of my white cardstock. So we're going to adhere it to that, and then we'll just flip this over, and we're going to adhere this other heart on top. So let's put this directly on top. And basically that will create this little pull-out tab that will be on the right side of our card. So this will slide in here and it'll create a nice little pull-out tab. So let's go ahead and add this to our Poppy Parade cardstock. So I basically sandwiched that heart in between the white cardstock and the Poppy Parade. And now I have a fun little tab for my card. So you can just slide that in there, and then this just pulls in and out. So it gives you that fun little insert for the inside of this card. So the next thing I did is just added a little bit of ribbon just tied into a bow on the left side of the front of this card. And then I'm just going to add a variety of different heart shapes just to decorate it. So I just have a beautifully embossed little heart, and I created all these little elements using the Hearts of Elegance bundle. So we're just going to add that in white. And then I have a little smaller heart that will just pop up off to the side. And this one will add in white as well. And then I just used some of the little elements from the ephemera pack. It's the Celebrate Love ephemera pack. I just thought this went really nicely with the paper that I have here. So I'm just using a couple different elements just to kind of dress this up a little bit. So all these little decorations came in that ephemera pack. We'll just pop that up there. And then we'll add another one just kind of off to the side. And then on the inside, I stamped a little greeting up here, a little message up towards the top. And then I just used another one of those little die cut pieces just to kind of decorate the inside. So we'll add that. And really that's all there is to it, to this card. So you can just slide this back in and you just have a really beautiful card. And of course you can use these exact same measurements to create this card in portrait style. So instead of having your little pull-out section come out to the side, you just decorate it so that the pull-out section comes out from the top. and then slides back in. So whether you decide to create it in landscape style or portrait style, the measurements for creating both of these cards are exactly the same. Okay, so there you go. Now you have two different ways that you can use this pull-out card design in your card making. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.